Hello everyone, welcome back to Napoleon Total War, the Peninsula campaign, and we are enjoying ourselves here in the Peninsula of Spain up against the French, and you can see that some things are occurring. Anyway, I was just bemoaning the fact because I don't know if you guys remember my Austrian campaign. I was actually playing through the Austrian campaign again from the start just to see how different I could make it and, you know, what differences would occur, what different decisions I'd make. And was just making me sad, really, because I can't play the music that's in the background for this game when I'm playing because of the copyright hits that you get on YouTube. And it's such a crime because the music in this game is just beautiful. It is just so relaxing, so chilled on the campaign map. And it just makes me a sad panda that I can't share the loveliness of that music with you guys. But, you know, it is what it is. I can understand where it's coming from. I'm curious to know. I might have to see if I can have a conversation with Creative Assembly about how development and music sort of works, how, you know, the sort of, what's the word, the commercials work relating to that, and how it's dealt with, because obviously we don't get any issues with the music in the later games, the likes of Attila and Rome 2. So it's curious to know how that works and how things have changed. It could be that sort of for earlier games, when, so to speak, they were less popular, so I suppose you could say, maybe, I don't know. And so what would happen is that companies' music was made and they would then sell those that music on to people that could then distribute it and sell that as part of a deal. And as a result, the copyright then moves to them, so they would then upload that onto YouTube. And it's just complicated, and it's always been a bit of a contentious thing where YouTube and music is concerned. Now, obviously, I can understand why YouTube do what they do. They needed to protect themselves from the likes of the suit coming in from the large music companies, but I don't know. But there's, well, quite. There's got to be a better way of doing it. There's got to be a better way of doing it. I mean, you know, they'll probably argue, well, if people buy the game, they can listen to the music, but who's to say? Anyway, let's get back to the campaign. Now, you can see that we are down here in Gibraltar, and that's a pretty good place. You can see we've got a lot of ability for recruitment there. We don't have a lot of money at the moment left. Now, if we check to see, we're still getting a reasonable amount of money in, but what we don't want to do is overdose on the armies. So we're doing a combination here of a few armies. So we're getting these guys to come in, and there's Wellesley to move in with these guys, and then we'll move Wellesley down here, probably to Granada, and start sort of trying to take that area, because they've got a an area here that we can start making use of. So farmlands, start help producing food, and let's see, right click for more information, adds to region wealth and replenishment rates. So that's a helpful thing in that regard. Now, obviously, if we look up here, we're going to have spies sort of sneaking up this general direction. This gentleman here will be sneaking into there, and he will be looking to infiltrate that particular area. Let's speed him up. And there we go, successful infiltration mission, which means that we can keep an eye on what's going on there. Now, the advantage of going up sort of this way is that we can then start sort of isolating this particular coastal area from the French, and maybe even start sort of working around here to try and isolate France from any kind of coastal region, which means supplies of ships or supplies of arms is going to be difficult and things of that nature. And there's a supply port, you see, so that's exactly the kind of thing that we're going to want to deal with. So let's have a look at our armies. So we've got a large army currently there, so that's going to be the biggest army. We've got a small army, and then here's our other army down here. Now you can see that this army is relatively small and is in the process of replenishing numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine some of these troops. They all seem to be sort of roughly the same level of skill and experience. So what we can do is just try and combine them down a little bit. Now the advantage of that means that it'll be less money to worry about and less issues in that regard. So let's just move him to there and put those last 49 in there. So this army will take a reduction, but the good thing about it is it means that we will have more money available in the next turn, albeit reducing this army a little bit. But it is one of the armies that we are keeping in this particular area to deal with the likes of these people up here. Now, you can see we've got an agent, we've got a spy and a provocateur in there, which is good. So what we might do is we might take our provocateur and send him over to here. So he can sniff out that area in Castilla de la Vega, I think, or de la Vega. Castilla la Vega. There we go. So, de la Vega was the name of the guy who was in Zorro, so my apologies. Anyway, so we got a spy in there and a provocateur up there as well. Now, what we're trying to do is the general strategy we're going for here is to try and form a buffer of English territory between France and Gibraltar and the Spain area. So this is going to be probably our focus down here, which is where we're going to send Wellesley. Now you can see that they don't really have a huge amount of forces there, so that will be ripe for the taking. And you can see that they don't have much infrastructure, and we do have our spy in there as well, so that's the reason why we know that that's not well defended. So if we can get that section here, and then further down, obviously, yeah, I think it might be that section there that we're going to be getting, sort of, you know, here somewhere, as a result of taking that, and then up here a little bit further, we'll want to be able to deal with that as well. So that's going to be Cordova, or Cordoba. We'll want to take that, and I'll probably give us that section there, and then we'll go down to Granada as well, and use Old Nosy to help push down to there as well. So that's going to be a good situation for us. You can see up here, this is where we're going to be going next to form that sort of, get that supply port and push up there as well. So that's the direction that we're sort of looking to go at the moment. And you can see that money is not too bad. Let's have a look at our policies. We've had to put that policy up a little bit. Now, if we go back and have a look at the summary, see the income next turn is still 859. So let's leave it at that. I've put it down just by a little bit. But what we will need to do is we will need to go through and have a look to make sure that everybody is being taxed in the regions that we own. Yes, everything is good in that regard. So, and you can see that the anti-French sentiment is quite high right now, which is the kind of thing that we want to take an advantage of. So these guys here are going to go to there, these guys will go to there, and then we will use that to attack this location, giving us that area of Cordoba, and then move down to Granada, and then move up to the top there, and then we're starting to form. Now the thing is, Salamanca is going to be an important area to get. You can see they don't really have many defences there. We know that because of our spy, and that will be another focus for us. And you can see, let's see, manufacturing and things of that nature. So if we can just get a handle on, so obviously we've got these guys there and these guys up here. So this will be the next army that we'll build up a little bit more of, and then push them up towards Salamanca, and or Salamanca, depending on how you pronounce that, and we can essentially push into that one. That will give us that area there, and then we'll have Nosy down the bottom here, go for these areas here, and then that will give us a lovely bufferage for us to really start pushing back against the French. Now the trouble is here for the French, they are massively overstretched in this peninsula, and we want to take advantage of that and the anti-French sentiment. So let's see, because if I'm right in thinking, can't do anything anymore right now. All we can do is, now you can see here, recruitment is, this is a great place to do recruitment, because we can get literally like 5-6 troops in a single turn. And so that's a wonderful opportunity for us to get loads of foot infantry in there And I would really like to get horse infantry, horse artillery in if I can as well. But I don't know what my options are for that. So you can see there's the drill school. Will enable us to increase the capacity of training under the circumstances there. And you can see the barracks obviously giving us that as well. So that's a good thing to have as far as we're concerned. And you can see the infrastructure is relatively okay. Now, if we look around, yeah, you're going to see some of this infrastructure here. I think I went round earlier. There we go. There's one that will need an improvement in the infrastructure. And so the infrastructure across the board has generally been improved, with the exception of Sierras or Jers. I don't know. I can hardly speak English. You guys know that. Anyway, let's end the turn. And see what surprises the French Empire. Oh, hello. Okay, we're sailing away from that. And they're going to go straight after us all the way. Yeah, it's distinctly possible I'm going to lose that guy. The Ganges. Yeah, sorry, Arthur. Goodbye. Glug, glug, glug. Oh, I mean, you see that? Anyway, so building has been constructed. The Court of Justice in this location here. So that will help improve things. And let's have a look now. Building constructed. Yes, we've seen that go away. And heroic death. The Admiral Arthur Legge has died. Poor Art. Never mind, he died for a cause. Well, he didn't really. The only thing that kind of annoys me somewhat about Napoleon is the way that the ships, when you're on a loser, they always follow all the way back. So, but never mind. These are minor issues. Anyway, this is the only fleet that we have right now. So let's see, because what we want to try and do is see if we can improve the trade. But right now, you can see 1358, so money's not too bad under the circumstances. Now, he pauses to cough, my apologies there. Let's get Nosy into there. So Nosy's in there, and he will be ready to attack that building there. Now, let's have a look, because there is, I want to do that infrastructure, so that one's okay. Is it that one? No, not that one, you fool. I want to be clicking on my own. Well done, Chad. Finally got there in the end. There we go. 250. So, that will improve the general speed of campaign movement. Now, what can we build over here? A merchant house, which will give us 100 wealth, 1+ per town wealth, and 12 per turn wealth in the region. So that would be helpful, actually. That would be very helpful. Now, let's see. What's that? That's the manufactory. So what we might do then is, see, that's 900, but what I really want to do is increase the army down here, who's going to be going up against the likes of, where was that army? Army, where are you? Here we go. So this army here. So let's get some recruiting done, shall we? And I'm going to put some just standard footline infantry in there, just one at the moment. That's all I can really afford to do, as we want to allow them to sort of move up. Now what we will do also is we'll just send that army there, and we're going to send them up to basically just ambush that a little bit, see if we can do a little bit of financial warfare against them buggers. Anyway, in the meantime, spies remain there, and let's get Old Nosy in to attack. See, they've got 2,360, we've got 3,600. We've got some nice line infantry, as things seem to be sticking to me for some strange and bizarre reason that I don't want to understand, as that kind of oozes me out a little bit. Anyway, so mostly they've got militia and they've got armed citizenry, and only one. Now, we could demand a surrender, but to be honest, I'd rather kill them all. So, let's find out how old Nosy gets on, shall we? Okay, so here we are on the battlefield. Now, let's see, because the French are going to be up there. Okay, maybe they won't be. Okay, and we're back under that somewhat unexpected crash. I do apologise about that, guys. And we're pretty much back at the start as where we went. So, you pretty much saw everything that was going to occur. And so what we'll do, I think, is we shall end the turn to get the money in. And what we'll also then do is go to the policies. Yeah, that's saved. So let's end the turn now. So my apologies about that. A rather unexpected crash. Granted, I tend to get the problem with the sound that occurs relatively easily. Yeah, we're going to lose this guy again. Screw it. Just auto-resolve straight away. At least he drowns in open water. Anyway. So, there you have it. Right, now, let's get this guy here in with Mr. Nosy. And you can see there, heroic death. Kiss me hardy and all that. Fleet has been destroyed. There was only one ship and the justice area. So, let's see if we can attack this guy again. Call to battle. Right. Let's see if it'll load it this time. Okay, well, we're in again now. Let's see, there's the French up the end there. And they're in a town, so I think what I'm going to do, move these guys back, put those guys there. Now, the trouble is they are behind a wall, but we'll limber them up anyway. And let's see what range that gives them. So, the French are just out of range. But that's not the end of the world. Now, what we do have is we have some light dragoons and we have the dragoons. So what I'm going to do is I want to put the dragoons up the far left side. And we have other dragoons here. So we're going to take the lights and the standard dragoons on one side. And the lights and standard dragoons on another. So let's move over to these guys as well. And we'll get them over with the other dragoons to kind of cover each other. Now, here are the light infantry. These fine fellows, I think, will need at least 1, 2, 3 regiments to support them. And I need to verify it, but I think Dogbert showed me this kind of layout where you have the lights and the line behind them to cover them. So I'll verify that with Monsieur Dogbert and confirm if that is the case. Which reminds me, I need to have some battles with Dogbert in Napoleon, because Napoleon's one of Dogbert's favourite series of the Total War franchise, so to speak. So we'll keep our general there behind the hill. And these guys up on this side, let's see. Let's have them there. Now, I guess it's time to get it underway then. So let's move... Oh, for God's sake. Where did... Oh, for God's sake. I've screwed it up completely now. They should be number 2. So let's get number 2 up to here. We shall leave these guys to carry on firing. These guys can move up here. We'll get our clippity-clops to go on a little ramble up the side there. And our right hand clippity-clops to go for a little ramble up there. Let's increase the size of the map so you guys can see that a lot easier. And what we'll also do is we'll get one of these regiments to stay near the cannon. And then get these guys to move up. So there we go, that's fantastic. You can see them now being engaged. So what we could do is have a nice funky barrage right on the top of their heads. Turn the volumes down if the game sounds just a smidgen. We don't want to overwhelm them. Ah, there we go, yeah, that's what we're after. Let's see how these guys get on, shall we? Oh, hello, gentlemen. Oh, goodness me, look at that. Heavens above. Brutality occurring, gentlemen. Brutality. So. Those guys are moving up. Now, I'm thinking that my right flank is a little weak. Get those guys moving. Let's get these guys in behind them. As you can hear the sound of washing being done in the background. Now, this could be a problem because... Let's stretch those guys out and leave them to wait. And what we'll also do then is bring these guys in here like that on the side. There's the cannon coming in. Aim for the gentleman in the middle. This is going to be the other issue here. But we might be able to circumvent them with these guys. Let's see what happens. See, this is the problem now, you see, is that those guys are moving up to the position where those guys are now moving. And so I might have to peel these guys off and get them to run to there. There we go. There's my boys doing their work. Let's get another barrage right on the general. Now these guys are going to in danger of being slightly overwhelmed, but if we get these guys in to run, and then we'll get these guys to come in behind, double time those buggers. So they're dealing with that lot. Let's get those guys run into position. It's only a quick run, so it should be okay. We'll have to move these guys back now because they're in danger of being flanked. Here we go, a nice outflanking run here. Oh, heavens above. Looks like we could be talking melee. Come on, guys, shoot at them. Come on, boys. So now we can get these two guys sniffing around the back while these guys go up to there and sneak in behind the enemy. Okay. And it looks like we've succeeded in breaking the enemy, which is good. So we'll move those guys over. Yep, there we go. Look, you can see them all breaking. Let's kill the general. At least if we can get a general kill, that would be nice. There we go, light dragoons into the back of the militia. while they're being attacked. Actually, no, we'll use those guys to finish off the remainder of the enemy. Let's continue because I want to make sure they're all wiped out. I want to try and break the back of any kind of challenge that they're offering us. Okay, there we go. Enemy general is killed. Those guys can unlimber to stop them firing. Let's get those guys back. We don't need them to do any more. Yeah, and we're chasing down the final remnants of the enemy with cavalry, which is what we're after. That's looking good. Make sure the armed citizenry is finished off. Militia garrison also being butchered. I think we'll end it there. I'll settle for that. That's quite a good result. With sirens in the background. Nice job, Wellesley. So you can see here, we've lost 106 men. They lost 2,360. So they lost everyone. Let's see how our guys did. Oh, look at that. The Light Dragoons with 451 kills. Huge promotions for those guys. Also promotions for the Dragoons. And most of those kills probably was on the back of that retreat. The foot killed reasonable amounts. So, you know, not too bad. A good response. And we shall peacefully occupy as we want those resources. So there we go. Cordoba as a region has been captured. Now look at that map. Look at that. Doesn't that look lovely? And there we go. Arthur Wellesley, siege expert. So he gets +2 to the command when sieging as I get a blocked up nose. And this will need to be repaired. So that's the first thing we'll do. And also we'll upgrade the roads because those roads are needed. Now, we'll let those numbers replenish before we start making a move over towards this region capital in Granada. And that's a good situation. I'm happy with that. Now, up here. What options do we have for an army? Let's see. Where are our armies? So this gentleman here is in this location. So, you can see his army is a little bit weak right now. Numbers are recovering, but it's not great, let's be honest. Let's add them to there, so that makes a full... Hang on, add that to that. That should make a full thing. Okay, maybe it doesn't. Whatever. No, okay. So 340, 340. And what we shall do, you can see they've got William Carr Beresford in there as well. And let's do some recruiting. Now, the army is a bit low on cavalry. So I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to recruit some cav. So we're going to get some dragoons. There's lunch repeats on me, apologies. So we're just going to build up that army slowly. Because that's really what we want to do. Now, let's check to see how our finances look. 1527 next turn. Good. Navy upkeep has dropped through this floor because we have no navy to worry about upkeeping, really, except for this gentleman, and that is a trade ship. So, you know, money is not too bad in that respect. Let's have a look at our trade income. So it's only 1391, so it's not too bad. And navy upkeep 32, army upkeep, and tax income. So things aren't too bad under the circumstances. Now, the thing we've got to be careful about is spending too much money, because, to be honest, navies are not really much of an issue, I see, in this particular campaign. It might be when we start sort of moving down this area, but if we can isolate this area here, and then up to here as well, then, you know, these sort of areas we can isolate from France so that they cannot actually get any kind of reinforcements, or any reinforcements they will have to actually get from France and through the Alps. So that's a possibility. I think that's the Alps or the Pyrenees. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think it might be Pyrenees. I think the Alps are between France and Italy, aren't they, or somewhere sort of down here. So let's just see. So that's the trade post that we can't use until we've taken that area in order to secure that location. So we won't worry about any kind of trade in that location for the time being. Now, let's think about this. So what we're going to do is we're probably just going to go to the next turn, because there's not really a lot I can do at the moment, because you've got your army here, William Carr Beresford, who is going to be going for probably that point there, after things have settled down and he is in a more, his army is in a little bit more, well, to be honest, I don't think we need to worry about it, because if you look in there, there's hardly any army in there. So I think what we might do is wait for those to be recruited, get some more line troops in. So if we look in here, recruitment, so there you go, 790, get a few more foot infantry in, and if we can do that, then that will be a good situation for us, and then we can go up to Salamanca, or whatever the hell it's called, and attack that area. So let's just go and let's go and visit there. Ah, interesting. So this appears to be a region capital, and inside we have some enemy provocateurs. Ooh, how lovely. And they're all unfortunately higher ranked than my guy. So he's just going to visit there and just basically sniff around. So that's the plan as it stands at the moment. And let's see how our plans come to fruition, shall we? If indeed they do. One good thing about this campaign is there's only France to worry about, and, well, the Spanish and the Portuguese, but to be honest, I don't plan on pissing them off at all. So, plenty of recruitment.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord. Horse guards, clippity-clop, clippity-clop. Now, let's see what's over here, because over here we have a suitable amount of cavalry, so we don't really need another one. But if we get him to go up to here, so he'll be there in 3 turns, I guess, even though his pathway's blocked. Typical. But he will go up and work with these guys. Now, let's get some recruitment in. So German foot, or just standard line. See, that's 806 and that's 840. So go 806. There we go. 2 more units into that army. Help bolster that. And let's see. Ooh. King's German Legion Light Foot. And 6-pounder artillery. So we'll leave that as it is at the moment. I'm quite happy with that as it stands. And there's no army in that location, or at least it's not ours, so we don't have to worry about it. And in here, we've got plenty of recruitment options. And let's just make sure that everything, yep, that's okay. That's okay at the moment. Yeah, you can see them in the process. Oh, basic roads, we need to build that, don't we? Yes, oh, that's all being built anyway. So, we don't have to worry about that. That's looking relatively okay. So what we shall do then, just check and keep an eye on our money. See, it's going down a little bit. That's because we are recruiting more for our army. So I think 2 armies as it stands at the moment is the best we're going to get until we start capturing more territory. Well, quite. Let's end the turn. Okay, sorry about that short edit, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see now. This gentleman will be cheesing his way somewhere up to join the army up here somewhere. Here we go. So, young Beresford gets some cavalry in there to assist him. So, 1490. Now you can see there recruitment options. Let's get some more into there like that. Let's see, Portuguese militia and Spanish Fusiliers. Let's put some in there as well. So we're sort of kitting out that army with a good variation of forces. And then here is, of course, our fine Mr. Wellesley. And you can see he can have more Spanish Fusiliers if he requires. But that's not really what we're looking for at the moment, really. He is staying put. Yeah, those numbers are recovering. So I'm happy with that. Now, it's time for him to go walkabout. Now, let's send him to there. So that then will enable us to do Granada. And he's got suitable horse, so we don't need to add any more horses to him. Yes. Yes. And unfortunately, because our colleague there is blocking that way, we're going to have to send this fellow quite some distance. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Holy crap, that's a long, long-ass route. You know what? Screw it. We're not going to send him that way because it will just be a waste of time for him. So what I might have to do is... yeah, put him in with there. What the hell? So let's send him over to Nosy and give him some extra cav. So... that's looking okay. He's protecting that area, which is fine with me. So there's a barracks. That enable us to recruit provincial militia, which we don't need to worry about at the moment. And you can see that that's pretty much all we can manage there. And then we've got some more coming in for this army. And I think once that's in there, then we're going to use maybe that army to attack up towards Salamanca, because they have no army there in order to defend it. And then that'll block that area off, and then we can send the army up to here, because up here there is pretty much no defense, although they are in the process of building a barracks. So that means that there will be an army there at some point. So let's end. So there we go. Spy network has been established up here. So we can keep an eye on that, which is good. And you can see traits gained, friends in government, spy and local contacts as well, which is good. And the recruitment report, we have Biera here. You can see that we are in the process of trying to improve that. Now, where's he off to? Oh, right, okay, so these two guys are on their way over to reinforce that army, which is fine. And then this gentleman here, we shall send him over to there as well. Actually, let's send him to that lot. So he will join in with that lot, and then that army will go and assist that army there. Now, see, Merchant House will be a good one, because then that will increase the situation, or increase the finances, because what we're after is a good financial, what's the word I'm looking for? A good financial, says he, trying to adjust the mic because it doesn't appear to be in the right position to get the best qualities of my voice, which is either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your point of view. But considering you're watching one of my videos and you haven't had to stab yourself in the temple because of it, I'd say that's a good thing. So let's get him to there. Right, so he is ready, and we are going to go and take Granada. There used to be a TV station. Anyway. Prepare for war. So now he's got 2,500. We've got 3,800. He's got armed citizenry, militia, and garrison line infantry. So I think it will be a pretty foregone conclusion. But you never know. You never know with this game. We'll have to wait and see, shan't we? Right, so here we are. The French are set up in that area, and let us get our artillery ready to go. Now, these guys need to be in light formation, as you can see, and we'll have two of those lines behind them, so they'll be number 2, and they'll hold that formation. Now, we'll have some of these clippity-clops ready to go up the side as per usual, and we'll have some lights to go with them. These guys are going to be over the far side, and that's double heavy, so they can sort of deal with, let's make the map bigger, they can deal with these guys on the right hand side. And then I think I'll keep these guys, let's see, so there's those guys in the middle, yep, so we'll keep these guys in the centre. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put them up by the cannon. Hopefully it doesn't startle the horses too much. Let's get these 3 regiments here ready to go. And so there's those ones there. And then we'll put them there. And we'll have these guys here. So we do have a bit of a weak centre, but we've got a good right side, a good left side, and what are these guys here? Yep, so there's number 2 there. And then these guys can stretch out a little bit, like so. Number 2 can go to there. These guys will guard the clippity-clops, or the cavalry will guard the artillery. And then these guys will move up on the right-hand side, maybe see if we can actually do some damage to their general. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, let's get underway, shall we? So let's get the horsey brigade up to one side. And the heavy horse. Give them a quick run as well. So make sure these guys are running. They're not, so they should be. And let's check to make sure that our cannons are ready to fire. Now, are they? They're not yet in range. So when they are, we'll give a nice bombard onto the centre of the enemy general. Now let's move up and get these guys here near that cover. And we'll also then move these guys up here. And also these regiments to the River Creek there before the main buildings. We'll get our general. We'll leave him there for the time being. No, actually, what we'll do is we'll put him there. There we go. Cannons ahoy, ladies and gentlemen. Cannons ahoy. And we'll forget to make them 1. And there we go. Yeah, that's 2. So, selecting number 1.
Glorious victories, huh?
Let's get a bombarding onto those guys in the centre. See how they like that. Well, the general doesn't like it. No, in fact, none of them like it. I can't say I blame him, to be honest. Oh! Ouch! 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 Say hello to the English artillery, gentlemen. Oh, goodness me. God, that's brutal. Quite a sobering experience, really, when you think about the people who like to do it for real. But, you know, we do think about these kind of things from time to time. Now, here is the heavy horse. And you can see here that the enemy general is fleeing. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the horse to here, get them to run that. And then we'll also move the lighter horse to here. Get them to run as well. So here come my boys. And let's have them get ready and face that direction for the forthcoming attack. Now, there is their general. And we're moving our armed forces, our clippity-clops, into the right location. Let's move the 2nd Brigade here. Up. See if they can engage these guys at long distance. Meanwhile, let's jump him. So what we'll do is we'll refocus the artillery onto away from their general, because their general is currently running scared. He's taken a French garrison as well. So we'll move 1 over to this side and get these guys to charge. Let's see what happens, shall we? Enemy general dead. Good. Fantastic. Just what we wanted. Let's bring the cavalry into here. Get engaging. And these guys are in danger of being flanked. So let's move them round. No. Oh, I thought the game would crash there for a second. We're rotating them round so they don't get outflanked there. So here come our clippity-clops. They're in a square, we can't touch them. Or at least it's unwise to touch them. So we'll bring our horses over to this side. Yeah, they're doing fine. They're armed citizenry, so they can't go into that square. Get them, quick. Come on, lads. Oh, this could be painful for us. Probably going to be painful for them too. Oh, going bowling for citizens. Fantastic. So they're in deep trouble now. Their general is in very deep trouble. And let's get these guys through the town to attack the enemy forces from the rear. And while we're doing it, we'll move these guys up onto one flank. And we'll also then send those guys charging in. Might as well make use of them as nobody's threatening our artillery at the moment. Let's move those guys up a little bit. Let's move them up to there. So they close in. Good, they've broken. Let's see if we can break these guys as well. Dragoons are forcing them to break as well. Here comes our clippity-clops into one side, into another side. Let's get the artillery unlimbered so it stops firing as our cavalry runs into the side and the rear of the enemy. Yep, they're pretty badly hit on morale. Who are these fine fellows? Yeah, they are still in combat, but they seem somewhat concerned that their general is no more. As these guys are still fighting with the general. So what we might have to do, once these guys are routed, come back, you daft buggers. Let's send them after this lot. So what we need to do is we'll get our guys around the side like that, and then round the back here, and then hit the general from the rear. We'll get them to run. So let's move those guys over to the other side of town. Might as well engage them for lols. Oh no, they've been unlimbered, haven't they? Dolt. Stop, whatever you're doing. Just ignore them. There we go. The general has been routed. By the looks of it. Finish them off, please. Let's get the heavy cavalry around the side. Oh, heavens. Come on, gentlemen. Yep, they're fine. Hit him in the back, gentlemen. Hit him in the back. It's nice having amounts of cavalry. I'm so used to fighting with troops. It's just a pleasant change. There we go. Yep, I'll settle for that.
Victory is ours.
Oh, goodness me. They only killed 195 of my men. And they lost 2,500. Yeah, that's a bad battle for them. Let us peacefully occupy. And look at that. For once, my plans are coming to fruition. Which, as you can imagine, for me, is something of a shocker. So, we've now got these areas here. Let's check our money. There we go, 13.99. So, we're going to be okay the next round. And also, you can see the tax levels are still pretty low. So, that's encouraging growth around the area. And just generally sort of making things relatively happy. So, I can't complain under those circumstances. Now, obviously, clearances will... replenishment rate and region wealth, so those are options that we can consider later on. However, let's see, because our agent now can leave that area, and we shall send him over to here to infiltrate Mercia. Mercia. I was about to say Mercia, fuck yeah. Anyway, so you've still got that area there from the Kingdom of Portugal, and this is the direction that we're going to go for the next attempt. Up here, that's where our spy is. And so let's check on our armies. So you can see our armies here. We've only got a single fleet. So we have the army here of Wellesley. We have Conrad Munro, who is this little fellow here. So he and him are moving towards this location here. So they're going to essentially just reinforce the army of Beresford. And then obviously we've got this guy here. Yep, there's that guy, and then there's this gentleman here as well. Now he is going to be making a run up to there as well. So it looks to be Fusilier, Spanish Fusilier line infantry. So we'll send him now. And he's going to be up there in another turn, so that'll be more reinforcements for that army, which is exactly the kind of thing that we're looking for. So, let's see. I think that's going to be it for this week. We'll see you next time.